Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kazuri Alameen, still breathing, very grateful. I want to share a couple of quick nuggets with you as it relates to life and death. We are all going to stop breathing on earth. There is not a belief. The evidence speaks for itself. I said the evidence speaks for itself. Just like somebody picked up your birth certificate, somebody's going to pick up your death certificate. Real talk. So what's your point, Mr. Kazuri? Death makes no appointment, but we all have an appointment with death. And I want to encourage you to remember not to forget how you die plays a role. We all going to stop breathing. Example, some people have heart attacks, aneurysms, and quick deaths, for lack of better verbiage. Some people suffer a long time, and sometimes they get to a point where they say call up family in, person is in hospice. There's many different ways people die. Some people get killed, car accidents, many different ways. So I want to encourage you to remember not to forget as you're dealing with your grief and loss, as you're dealing with the mourning of losing your loved ones, your friends, how you die plays a role. I've been doing mental health for a very long time. And how you die plays a role. So if it's quick, that's a dynamic. If you got a loved one that is suffering and they say call hospice in, it's a matter of minutes or days or hours, that's a different dynamic. Somebody is dropped dead of a heart attack, that's a different dynamic. So I think a lot of times what I'm striving to say is one size does not fit all. A lot of people don't know about grief and loss, and I get the grief comparing where I know how you feel because I lost my brother too. I know how you feel, I lost my wife too. And that is so incorrect. Nobody knows how you feel. Sometimes you're dealing with grief and loss, you're not going to know how you feel. So if you don't know how you feel, how the else going to know how you feel? They can show empathy and sympathy, but they don't know how you feel. So I call it grief comparing or trauma comparing. That's not okay. So how you die plays a role. How quick you die plays a role in people's lives. And I'm talking from evidence. I'm talking from 46 years in mental health. Not something I got on a podcast that was talking about, something I read, but somebody else said. I've been working with people for 46 years. Real human beings, so I know what I'm talking about. So I want to encourage you, whoever you may be in that process, be there. You're going to have your moments of sadness. You're going to have your moments of anger, of loneliness, of up and down, why, when. Whatever you're feeling, that's all part of your recovery. One of the things about grief, you'll never be the same, but you're not supposed to. It changes us. Because one of the things that we live through, we work on through with the memories. Because that person or those people were a part of your real experience. They were a part of your experience. Experience is anything that you go through, anything that goes through you. So wherever you may be in your process in dealing with that, I like to call it working through. Don't rush it. Don't feel shame and guilty about it. Don't let any external forces rush you by grief comparing. Well, John, example, where you should be over this by now because I lost my brother too. And, that is totally not okay. You got to be where you at. And being at where you at, it's all a part of the healing process. It's not going to taste good sometimes. It's not going to feel good sometimes. It's not going to be good sometimes. That's okay. That's all part of the recovery process. And please, man, I run into so many people who get re-traumatized, listening to people who start grief comparing them. I tell them they should be over it by now, or you shouldn't feel this by now. We're going to just pray about it. Everything, ladies and gentlemen, you can't pray away. Sometimes you got to put on the table and deal with it. I need to say this again. Everything you cannot pray away. You got to put something on the table and deal with it. And one of those issues is grief and loss. So I want to encourage you, once again, wherever you may be in that process, take your time with it. Don't rush it. You're going to have your moments of sadness. You're going to have your moments of happiness. It's all part of the process. But don't allow anybody to rush you, and don't you rush you. Because once again, I deal with people every day who've gotten re-traumatized by people who don't know what they are talking about. Or they start comparing you to somebody else's death. He died slow. She died fast. That has nothing to do with you. You got to be where you're at with what you're feeling. Honor and respect your own feelings is so very, very vital, ladies and gentlemen. Don't allow anybody to traumatize you about something they don't know what they're talking about. Once again, how you die plays a role. How quick you die. Where you die. Was it a murder? Was it a suicide? All these things play a role. Was somebody get hit by a car? Did somebody have a disease? All these things play a role. Excuse me. So whatever you're dealing with, work through it. Don't rush it. Work through it. But all these plays a role how you feel about certain people in your life. Don't allow anybody to rush you. Take your time. Take your time because these are your feelings. Honor and respect your own feelings. I don't care what the external forces say. Honor and respect your feelings. And you'll know when you get to certain levels of healing, certain levels of recovery. You'll know it. And once again, when you're dealing with grief and loss, you'll never be the same, but you're not supposed to be. Excuse me, but life goes on. but you must move at your own pace. That's part of your healing. Move at your own pace. It's very, very important. And I'm saying this from 46 years of mental health experience. 46 years of mental health experience. Peace.